Just so you know, I usually wait about 30 seconds before I start. Oh, Brandy, you're always there. Hi, nice to see you. Carolyn Gal, hi. Of course, I won't be able to talk to all of you now. It's telling me I have a very bad connection, and I'm going to be apologizing for that up front, okay? Hey, it's my live stream in a place where I have hardly any signal, so, it was either record and not get it up at all or try to do it now. So we'll just try it and see how it does connect. All right. Okay, well, we'll get started. Hi, everybody. I'm Roy Potter, and this is the Potter Expositor live stream on YouTube. And what a day, huh? What a last few days, actually. And I'm going to be kind of specific on this one tonight. And I think we're going to try to take some questions if I can a little bit later. It depends on if this connection holds out or not. And I've been playing around with the lights a little bit. Here are my studio lights here and my microphone in the background and all that. And so all I have are just some very low lights in here right now, and it's still washing me out, but oh well, we'll just go with that. The aperture on this thing is not controllable. So anyway, I'll just go ahead and start talking here, and I'll try to watch what you're saying and address you. Hey, I'm a little worn out. I don't know how you guys are, but like I say, it's been a few rough days. Good things and some troublesome ones. But since Christmas is coming up so quick, I don't know how many of these between now and actually Christmas Eve I'll be able to do. So I figured tonight was the night. So anyway, yeah, probably the first thing on everybody's mind is the Bundy mistrial and how I feel about that. As you know, I predicted it would probably be a mistrial, but I was hoping that the judge would do a dismissal with prejudice. Well, that's asking too much. There are a couple of reasons probably why that happened, and I don't think that any of them are necessarily good. But the number one is that the judge is on the hot seat now because she allowed this to happen, probably knowing it, at least to some degree, what the background was, and would have let it continue to slide, except for the fact that it became public, the information on the kill lists and on the setup to actually draw the supporters away from the demonstration area over by the ranch and bring them over to the I-15 area on purpose to cause a confrontation. This was all designed by the government, by the BLM, by the FBI, by Steve Myrie, the U.S. attorney. And again, it's going to say I have a bad connection quite a bit, so again, I apologize. But anyway, they thought they could keep the lid on it, and they didn't. Of course, it didn't happen. And there are some other, besides the Wooten whistleblower, I understand that there's some others waiting in line behind him. So there's a lot going on with that, and the judge, I think, did the mistrial primarily because she wants to put the onus on the Department of Justice to dismiss this, to make a motion for dismissal. That would be my guess, because she's got to answer to Harry Reid directly, because he's the one that got her in there, which of course would be Clinton as well. So she's probably looking at this from a self-preservation standpoint. And I hate to say that, it's not the best thing to say about a federal judge, but what was the evidence? It's obviously there. So I'm not happy with the fact that these guys still have to even consider looking at another trial. I think that's wrong. I think that's oppressive. I think that's, I mean, it's basically a double jeopardy. But at the same time, it's provided us with an opportunity, and then of course make it viral. I'm not sure I keep it, but I'll keep moving along here. How you can see that little point doesn't surprise. Scott Anthony did me a great favor today. Bundy trial. You can go on the channel and see it. On YouTube. He actually all of my videos. I think it was all of them, at least a good number of them, on the Bundy Ranch situation because I was there on a playlist. And then he you know, I should have done it on my channel a long time ago. So now there's a playlist on that, on the Bundy Ranch business, and also, yeah, it's buffering, and I'm so sorry. It's lagging, yeah. I'm very sorry. Like I say, these live streams are not my favorite, other than they're easier to do, but sometimes the transmission's bad. So what I did was following Scott's example, which I should have done a long time ago. I made a playlist on the Bundy Ranch on this channel. I made a playlist on my FBI corruption series. And I might even do one on the Boston bombing series I did, and the Las Vegas shooting, and some other things. But we'll see, okay? All right, just to give you that information so you can follow up on it if you like. Good things did happen, though, right? The tax bill today. Trump got a big win today. He deserves it. We deserve it. And really, the importance of the tax bill is that Trump can now move his attention on the things that I have been calling for, and all we have been calling for, and that is to go after the criminals and the traitors in government. Okay, what I see. I mean, the tax thing is great. It's a great thing. He's finally got something that'll appeal once it. But a particular thing, now he can move on to these things that are really important, because that's not this equality of justice, even under the law. It's about our country as a sham. Okay, so he's got to move on that, and that's the reason why I brought the Q things up again, especially since they fixed this problem with the trip code. And I have faith in Q, but again, I'm going to say Q is a good thing. Okay, but we have to make sure that Trump continues on with this whole indictment process and actually starts collaring people and taking them in. We really need him to do that. Now, he's got a game plan, I realize it, but I don't want us to give up on that, and I don't want us to give up on our actions, right, to make that happen. You've heard me say that several times now. So let's hope that he moves forward now. I don't know if Sessions is going to finally pop his head up out of his hole or not. I really don't know. The OIG is getting ready after the first of the year. Yeah, and I can't help it, guys. It's a bad connection. It's either this or nothing tonight. Okay, so we'll just have to deal with it. But at any rate, hopefully they'll move on and start doing some things about that, about these criminals like Clinton, Podesta's, McCabe, Strzok, all of that. And talking about McCabe and Strzok and the FBI. McCabe testified and couldn't wait to get out of the hearing, from what I understand. It was a closed hearing, so we don't know what they covered, but apparently he got caught in not saying the same things that other witnesses had said. In other words, somebody's committing perjury. I'm not accusing him of it at this point, but somebody has lied to Congress. Are they going to do anything about it? Do they ever do anything about it? You know, Trey Gowdy, as good as he is, I get so tired of hearing him talk in his nasal, guttural voice, you know, and he's a great, you know, he articulates things very well. He's a grand speaker, but when it comes to follow-up, it just seems like it never happens, and you all know that we're all frustrated about that. So Trump has to kick Jeff Sessions in the butt and either get him to do the job, and he might be doing it underneath, like we've all been saying is a possibility, and that the OIG is actually conducting the investigation and Sessions is keeping in the background. But whatever, President Trump, we really need to see some results here now. The old Batman thing I've talked about, the Dark Knight, the people's faith needs to be rewarded once in a while. The money on the tax plan is good, right? And the jobs coming back, and, you know, you're getting ISIS under control. We need to see the bad guys in government, okay, start to get collared. We really do. It's time. It's absolutely time, or we're going to be wondering what's really going on. Okay, all right. So again, on McCabe, he gave this testimony today. Was very uncomfortable with the situation, and we've got all of these FBI State Department. They're going to get pulled here eventually, that were involved in this whole thing, not trying getting him in improper manners, and we're going to have to be careful that he doesn't get assassinated here in the next little while. And a lot of people realize that could happen. So hopefully he's got his personal protection teams and those former special forces guys. You know, Craig Sawyer even volunteered. He said, "I'll just volunteer to do it." And I think a lot of us feel that way. So we'll see where it goes from here. But the FBI, like I put up on that FBI corruption playlist, you know, I keep hearing people like Alex Jones apologizing for the FBI and for the CIA, saying, "Oh, it's just a few people at the top." You know, we can't look at it that way, because nobody blew the whistle. I mean, very few did. You know, Wooten and the BLM did. You know, we've had William Binney, you know, do it in the NSA and things like this. But these people, if they see wrongdoing and they're afraid because of themselves, and I understand that. But our entire constitutional republic is at stake. And the lives of our own lives and the lives of our loved ones, our friends, our children, etc. And so it's time that we belly up to the bar, boys, right? It's really time to do that. It's time to, you know, when the commander calls you out, that you take a healthy step forward and say, "I'm here. I'm here, sir." It's just time, guys. So in a lot of my videos in the past, I've encouraged, you know, people in the government to come forward, to whistleblow, and we're seeing that. We are seeing that. We understand that there's some FBI agents now ready to come forward and talk about the corruption that's been around McCabe and Comey and Strzok, etc., etc. And there's another guy, I'm forgetting his name right now, which is a shame, because he's apparently stayed in the background but is very culpable. He's the head of counterintelligence for the FBI, and I forget his name. But it came out earlier this week that everybody keeps dancing around him, or I guess it was late last week, and has not been talking about him. And I'm sorry I forget his name. Maybe some of you will remember who it is. But he's the counterintelligence head of the FBI. Not Aaron Rouse in LV. That's not who I'm talking about. It's the other guy now that's up there. And he has apparently been involved in a lot of the shenanigans that has been going on. So the FBI is corrupt, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, it is. And yeah, there might be a lot of good, you know, agents in there, and in the CIA and in the NSA, et cetera, you know, the DEA, the ATF, whatever. But the organization is corrupt, and when the organization's corrupt, then you got to clean house, and people who are not willing to come forward to do something about it are suspect. Okay, and that's the way I look at it. If I was a commander of a unit and I knew that was going on, I'm sorry, but until because you know, in a situation like that, it's not you're innocent until proven guilty. Okay, this isn't the same thing. You're working for an intelligence service. Okay, so it's an entirely different situation. All right, I'm going to move on because I don't want to spend a lot of time. It's already been almost 14 minutes. Okay, and we also heard the other day, and we've all known about this. We've known about the weapons that Obama sent through Hillary and others to ISIS, etc. And now you know, I've been involved with, well, I've known about the CIA being involved in drug trafficking. We've all known about that. But now it comes out, what? That Obama was helping Hezbollah so that he wouldn't tick off Iran and help them to sell cocaine in the United States and elsewhere, no doubt. You know, I'm sorry, you know, he may have been a president, but he needs to go down. He needs to be charged with treason, with high crimes and misdemeanors, all of the things that he's done, and Hillary too, you know, all of those people. It needs to be done, and it's too bad we embarrass these people that used to be in the government or still are. It's just too bad. We got to embarrass the government. It's time, right? Would everybody agree with that? I certainly would. So we'll see how Trump and Sessions handle that, or the military tribunals, which brings up the other question. Is George Soros at Camp David? Is al-Walid there? What happened at the Atlanta airport? I don't think any of us can answer those questions definitively. What I've done, okay, is I've looked at the situation at what Q said. I've looked at the situation that Trump has said, you know, correlating those things and then looking at the activities. And I would say that something along the lines of taking out Soros's apparatus, at the very least, has happened, okay? If not him being collared, absolutely. I'm not saying that it's absolute, but I think that the evidence suggests that something very significant happened here. And I think more is going to come out. Frankly, bringing Al-Walid here on an extradition, I saw that on the 8chan post. Scott Anthony brought up. That'd be nice, but that's really not an issue, even though he was involved in probably the mastermind behind the Las Vegas shooting, which we'll talk about again at another time, because that's still very serious, what happened there, and a tragedy and an act of war and all of those things, terrorism, etc. But extraditing here to the United States, extraditing him here to the United States, if that's what happened, oh great, that's fine. But we have our own criminals also to take care of. Okay, and Soros is certainly he and Clinton and Podesta and Eric Holder and Obama, et cetera, et cetera. You know, you can go on down the line. You know, Lois Lerner, all along there. So we want to eventually, you know, we've got all these sealed indictments, but nobody in the upper echelons has been collared yet. And I've been saying they'll roll it up from the bottom. And there's been a lot of arrests of pedophiles around the world. Did you see that today? Something like 3,000 according to Q in Saudi Arabia alone. I guess those were the kids that they freed. The children who were sex slaves, they freed like 3,000 of them. So this is going on, but it's time to take out the top echelon too, because every day that we don't do that, more kids are hurt. And I've had very close relationships in that situation, so I understand how critical it is. Can't wait much longer. We really can't. Okay, that was real fast. We're going to go to some. Let me see what you've got here, because I don't want to take all night. They got the goods on Michelle, meaning her goods. You mean what she is, or what it is, or whatever. Yeah, or some of her other nefarious activities. Playing at Atlanta Airport. Yeah, Scotty Anthony's doing work on. We know playing about the okay, but of any number of or all again back to Trump's statement that aligned with his the Q statements, how they align, and the timing. See, that's what we've got to look at here. And so I'm still saying that there's something with Soros on this, but at the very least, it was a major thing that happened at the Atlanta airport, because as Tracy Beans pointed out, they have backup power systems, right? And so even if the main one goes down, the other one should kick in. So somebody took it down on purpose, would be my guess, and then used the fire as the excuse. And there could be a lot of reasons for that. One commenter on Twitter, my Twitter page, said, yeah, hey, again, everybody, this is a live transmission. I've got a bad connection. I can't help the hiccuping. Okay, I'm sorry. I can't. I wish maybe I should have just waited until tomorrow and do a recording, but I thought I'd get this basic information out tonight. Okay, so just bear with me. And it's as irritating to me as it is to you. But, and who knows, the NSA, or not the NSA now, but the CIA or the FBI could be messing with it. Who knows? Okay. All right, so something significant happened at the Atlanta airport and all the circumstances surrounding that. So we're going to be monitoring it. Good people are looking at it. Who knows, Trump might even come out in the next few days and actually tell us what was going on. So let's hope so, because we really need to be rewarded. Our faith needs to be rewarded now. Talking on cue and doing the puzzles and discussing it with each other, that's great, but we want to see something, right? At least I do. Yeah, and it was an extraction of some sort. And I'm not sure that the train wreck had anything to do with it. I'm not sure of that. If the tracks are bad, and if it's actually going, it could just be an excuse. They're saying it was going too fast. I don't know, but we're going to be watching that as well, because we can't trust any of these people, right? None of them. Yeah, FBI is CIA. Trump must act now. Yeah, and I think he's on the way. Now, I had a very in-depth discussion with my friend that I talked to you about before. He's an insider in the Republican Party, and he's in California. And I was, he was the one that was upbeat. He was upset about the way Trump's being treated. And frankly, I'll just tell you, Trump's, the buck stops here. It's Trump's job. If Sessions isn't doing his job, he needs to get rid of him. Okay, but I'm giving him a little leeway here, as I always try to, because I understand the OIG thing is there, and there's the sting operation going on. A lot of things are happening, so I'm holding back. But I got to admit, I'm like you guys. I'm saying, when is this going to happen? Because, our faith, as I just said a few minutes ago, needs to be rewarded. Okay, and I agree with that. All right, UN in Chicago. That's fake news. We talked about that the other day. It was a power play by the Dems. They don't have any power to do that. And that's why I said, Trump's not going to allow that to happen. That's just not going to work. California's still burning. Must stop. Yeah. Sure look like directed energy weapons to me. Pam Jones has got a lot of information about that. And it looks like it to me. I'll just come out and say it. And there's some other things about DEWs, the dues, that we can talk about. I've kind of alluded to them on other occasions, but they can be used on individuals too, and it can cause a lot of people a lot of damage, make you think you're crazy, give you headaches, or just blow your guts up. I mean, they can go to any of those different levels of targeting. Bring it on, lefties. We still don't want to go there, other than self-defense, right? Just keep it at self-defense. Prep, pray, and stay out of the way. Because if this thing goes hot, it could still happen, right? These two opposing forces, it could go hot, and then of course everybody's a free-for-all. You just need to try to make sure you're ready, that you have the supplies to make it through a few weeks. Okay. All right. Let me see if there's a train blown up. I missed that. Boy, I got to go back to that. Hold on. Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm not sure. We're waiting now. The mayor, I think, of that town has said that it looks like there might be some foul play involved. So we're going to see. But it is true that those tracks are old, so it's kind of hard. At any rate, it likely is an incident that was somehow related to what happened in Atlanta, but let's wait and see. If it were, there would be a lot of other things happening right now. Maybe they're getting ready to. Or Trump's teams are out there and he's neutralizing them. That could be too. All right. Full-blown ISIS, FBI. I like that one. That's pretty good. I haven't seen that one before. Okay. Section 8 is more important than Area 51. Okay, let's see if there's anything here. Oh, the UFO thing is real interesting. Even the New York Times is carrying that. Now, I'm going to tell you a story. I know Jordan Sather. You all know him. He's of Destroying the Illusion. And there are a lot of these folks out there. He's very good on everything he does. And he's also on this more or less UFO information. Now, I'll just tell you this. And I've told him this story, and I've told some other people. When I was a young boy, about 14, I was very interested in UFOs. I was looking at, all the magazines they have and all that. I actually coming to Jordan's rescue here, okay? And my mother was involved at the Goddard Space Flight Center, which is in Greenbelt, Maryland. I grew up right near there by the University of Maryland. And one day, she said to me, "Look, I'm going to have a really neat guy come by to talk to you. He's an astrophysicist for NASA, and he's going to come and talk to you." And I went, "Great." So this gentleman came, and during our meal, we were talking kind of light, but then he and I went to a side room, and he told me, and being a 14-year-old, I guess he felt like it was fine to tell me, because who's going to believe a 14-year-old, right? But I remember this to this day. This NASA astrophysicist, we went over the UFO things, and he said, yes, some of them are ours, and some of them are not from here. Okay? So just to defend Jordan Sather. Now, of course, the danger here is that the evil side of our government can use this as a false flag, right? So we have to have our eyes and ears on. We have to have our discernment turned on very, very strongly. We don't need to fall for a pretense of God, right, coming down out of the clouds when it's really, one of these false flags, these blue beams or whatever. So we just have to be aware that there are real things, but that these things can be used against us too. And that's as far as I'm going to really take it, as far as the UFO false flag. I'm not a cynical guy, but I'm skeptical, okay? I'm not from Missouri, show me state. Maybe I should be. But you need evidence of some type. And I've said it many times. Faith is the evidence, is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things unseen. So there's got to be some corroboration on all these things. We don't just take them for face value, okay? All right, I'm talking too much. I'm starting to philosophize too much. Let's see. Yeah, the Israeli jet at the Atlanta airport. Yeah, like I say, there's some crazy things there. But think about this. What if they're the ones that brought Soros? What if they fight? Because they don't like him now, right? Because he's calling for the destruction of Israel. What if the Nazi hunter teams of the Israeli government found Soros and brought him? Well, why didn't they take him to D.C. or whatever? Look, I don't know the op plan. I don't know the op order. I don't know why. That's mine is not the reason why. Right? That it depends on a lot of circumstances. Who might be looking for him? His security forces. He has contacts everywhere. Who, as I pointed out to one person on Twitter, which I started to mention a few minutes ago, I said, well, why would they disrupt the whole airport? When they could have just taken him to Camp David. Well, these things have to be done delicately, right? Like the Wicked Witch of the West used to say, these things must be done delicately, and that's very true. You're dealing with very dangerous people here that are associated with Soros, with the Rothschilds, and all of that. And so you have to do the ops for a lot of reasons, if for no other, ladies and gentlemen, to protect you. Okay. So I got to trust Trump on this one, and I think there was something to do with Soros there. The Israeli jet could have been the Nazi hunters. I'm not saying that for sure, but considering, again, what Trump said about a special place, what he said with the purple tie, which I talked about, and drinking the water, all the symbolism is there, and the timing, okay? So we'll leave it at that for now. Like I said, we don't want to get too deep in this. We're already at 26 minutes. I can't believe how fast this goes down. Any up to date on the indictments? We're at almost 5,000 now, I understand. Only the ones against MS-13 and a few of the money launderers in the Uranium One thing have been actually collared and some prosecuted at this point. That's just the tip of the iceberg. I've heard some rumors. I haven't checked it out myself, but I've heard some rumors that it's now up around 9,000. And that was going around here about a week ago or so, but I don't think those were verified. However, there are those now that are saying it's creeping up past 6,000, but I haven't personally checked it. I will try to get some information on that before I talk to you next time if I can remember. The big thing, though, is okay, the indictments are the first move. And Monty from Montegraph, when he did his board meeting, he brought this up, and he's right. The Q thing, and that's why I said we need action. The Q thing is dragging everybody off to where we think that Trump and his team are going to do all the work for us, right? And yet we're not seeing any of these indictments. Well, the indictments are there, but we're not seeing any action on them. And Monty said that all this Q stuff could be so that they don't have to actually initiate, the actual collaring process, the arresting process. Well, I don't know that that's true, but I understand where Monty's coming from there. And that's why, again, I brought up, one of the reasons I brought up, that don't let Q get you so funneled that you think that the government's, that Trump and his team is doing everything anyway, and we don't have to worry about it. We still have to be vocal. We have to be active in doing things. We have to be calling for the arrest of these criminals and these traitors, etc. The people need to stay loud, very, very loud, okay? So I agree with Monty, but I also think that looking at Q now that the trip code is fixed and we can guarantee pretty much what's going on there, that's okay because it's a good conversation, if nothing else, okay? Yeah, UFO and Podesta, I don't trust Podesta. Can you imagine that? If they well, I'm not going to say that. I could go too far, I think, sometimes. Yeah, we need to see some results. Again, the faith of the people needs to be rewarded. Okay. Is UFO a government psyop? They're going to use it that way. I think not the good guys, but the black hats, and the Vatican will, and some others. Yeah, I think they're probably going to use it if they can. Okay, I don't know about Satan's frequency. I've heard that before, though. You're not the last or the first one I've seen say that. That's interesting. But remember, the devil. This was the point of my last video. Satan, the devil, the evil one. He comes real close to what God does to imitate it, but has just enough of a twist that it's a perversion. So the 444 as opposed to the 440 is a real good point. Yeah, I like that. All right, extraction at Atlanta, yeah, of some sort. We're still not sure what, but the fact is that Israeli jet that leads me to believe that it was a Nazi hunter team, and Soros is definitely fitting that. And Israel considers him an enemy now, as does most of Eastern Europe. And of course, Trump doesn't talk about him. He never really says his name. But all of this code is in there, which leads me to believe that he's working on it. Okay, and in fact may have already clipped it in the bud. Okay. I think we're going to stop there, okay, because it is getting close to Christmas. Actually, it's snowing like crazy here. I still have some things to do, but I wanted to let you know how I was looking at some of this. So I hope you all have a great night. Thank you so much for coming. And yeah, go ahead and pass this around. I will load it up. It'll take a while before it's ready to start, using on my YouTube channel, but I'll also put it on Twitter, okay? Thanks, everybody. Merry Christmas again. Season's greetings, happy holidays. Have a wonderful time with your loved ones and families. If I don't see you again, I probably will before Christmas, but just in case, okay? All right, out here.